Welcome to another amazing episode of Royally Confident. Welcome, and this is for the women who've been in toxic relationships, been called too much, don't feel like they're worthy of love just because of a past. If this sounds like something that you have been through, you're in the right place. So today's episode is going to be about Royal Court. We're going on trial. Yeah, we're putting a negative belief on trial. So today we're putting up a negative belief. And remember, in this courtroom, feelings are welcome, but only facts get to win. So today we are going to talk about case file number RC001, the case of I'm too much. So I know some of you have told me I'm too much. I'm too much. If you feel like you've been called too much a lot and you feel like you're too much because of other people's opinions, then you are in the right place because we are putting this negative belief on trial. So, the case file of RC001, the case of I'm too much, we are putting on the stand Kitty. You can see Kitty. Kitty looks very sad. She doesn't look very confident or anything because she has this negative belief of I am too much. So, Kitty, we're here for you. And you're on the stand because Kitty thinks she's too much. So, the accusation is I'm too much. This is what Kitty thinks. So, let's ask ourselves evidence. Let's gather all this evidence that might say that we're too much. So Kitty has all this evidence that she has for her to say that she's too much. So let's go through it. So, Kitty, who told you that you are too much? So Kitty might say something like, my ex-boyfriend, my ex-girlfriend told me I was too much. Some friends of mine told me to calm down. They told me that I'm the most, that I'm insane, and that I'm just too much, just people just keep telling me I'm too much, and then a lot of things like dates don't work out because I'm too much for them. I'm just like, okay. And let's see, what exactly did they say? Oh, oh, you're too much. Um, you are too loud. Your laugh is annoying. You're asking me too many things. The normal. Okay, okay. Was it just one person or several? Usually it's pretty much the guys Kitty dates, right, that are telling her that she's too much and that she's not enough. And sometimes it's some of her friends who also say the same things. So multiple people are telling her that she's too much. When you ask for things, are you asking for basic respect or something unreasonable? So Kitty could say something like, I'm just asking maybe to put the toilet seat down or help me in the kitchen. Or if I could borrow something, or maybe we can go out this weekend and things like that. Okay, that sounds very reasonable though, right? Unreasonable would be like, I need you to clean the whole house all by yourself without my help, or I need you to always cook for me, or something that is just very unreasonable. Or in basic respect is asking for help in the kitchen, seeing if they want to go out this weekend, things like that. Have multiple healthy people told you this? Right? And Kitty she might not be able to answer this question because this question is like, she doesn't even know if the people that are around her are healthy. But it's basically like people who are telling you you're too much or people that think they're also too much. So they might not be as healthy. So I have evidence against everything that Kitty has said. So in order to figure out the evidence against the things that she has evidence for, we have to ask ourselves these type of questions. So, who has appreciated your personality? So, this is a good thing Kitty could think of. Like, who has actually enjoyed her company and never tells her she's too much? Who has actually said that you're an amazing person? Who has actually appreciated your personality? They don't try to make you feel small or anything like that. So, you have to think about who has appreciated your personality, Kitty. Who enjoys talking to you? Who makes active effort to want to hang out with you, to want to just be around you, who enjoys talking to you, who calls you, who texts you? Pretty much who does that? Because it's not just nobody, right? Like the people that are probably telling you too much, or probably people that don't enjoy talking to you as much as that. So, who does enjoy talking to you? Have people ever described you as caring? So, I used to think I was too much, right? I actually just started telling myself that I'm not too much because I thought I was too much for people because people would ghost me all the time, right? But every time I talk to my friends about this, they're like, Janice, you're not too much. And they always tell me I'm the kindest, I'm the funniest, I'm very charming. They say a lot of really good things about me. So, how many people have ever described you as like caring, funny, charming, and, someone cool to hang out with? Because that would definitely like tell you exactly. And evidence against you being too much, because maybe the things that are too much for the wrong person is really right for the right person. Have friends stayed because of who you are. So this is where you don't pretend, you don't sweating. You don't pretend or anything about who you are. You're being authentically yourself. And people stay because they actually like seeing that part of you. They love who you are. Like, so have friends stay because of who you are. And have you ever been too much for one person and perfectly enough for another? Because I love telling people this, because people always ask this question, like, Janice, am I too much? And I say, you probably are asking for too much. Like, honestly, you could be asking for too much. But if you're asking for too much from somebody, then that person is the wrong person. Because you're perfectly enough for the right person. You will never be too much for the right person. You will be too much for the wrong person. People that are in your lives telling you you're too much do not belong in your lives, because they will not accept you for who you are. But people who accept you for who you are, who want to hang out with you, want to chill with you, love talking to you, say things like you're caring, you're nice, you're kind, I love hanging out with you, you're amazing. Those are people who are not going to think you're too much. Those are people that are the right people that be to be in your life. And that's what the evidence is against, like saying like you do have people who think you are enough. It shouldn't matter if there's somebody who says you're too much, because you have people who say you are enough. And that should get you to think like, you know what, you're right, I am enough, I am enough. Because there are people who say I am enough, and the people that say I'm not enough can go away. Y'all go away. Because they're the wrong people. They're always going to try to make you feel small, because they also want you to feel small with them. Just a little thing right there, just to let you know. All right, now let's hear some witnesses. If your best friend heard you say, I'm too much, what would she honestly say back? Okay. So ask your best friend, like, what would you, like, if they say it was too much, what would they say? Because I did have friends that I thought were my best friends and be like, yeah, you're too much, but I still love you, And then that really made me actually feel really sad. But I have another good friend, and I said, I'm too much. And she's like, no, Janice, you are not too much. So I realized I rather have people around me that tell me I'm not too much, because they don't think I'm too much. They think I'm enough and that I'm awesome just the way I am. And then you have people that are, you know, there are some things that can be too much for some people, but it shouldn't be where you feel small. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you should not. So basically, ask your close friends, your close family, like, about this stuff, because sometimes it's okay to use validation, but I'm not telling you to do it to depend on it, because if you depend on it, you'll always depend on it. But basically, you will have people that say, no, you're not too much. And I have friends all the time telling me, you are not too much. You are not too much. So always get those witnesses. And don't be using like ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends, because those are the people that were wrong for you. So don't be using that. And don't be asking people that dim your light. So let's talk about future you. Look at future Kitty. Kitty says, I am enough. She looks happy. She looks confident. She's so like, ah. So the confident woman you are becoming. Yes. So the future you is becoming the confident woman you are becoming. So would that confident version of you make herself feel smaller? Right, exactly. This is what you're going to ask you yourself. Would my future self make myself feel smaller so other people can be comfortable? If it's a no, then you are embracing the future you. If it is a yes, you are going backwards, and you're going to be not unapologetically yourself, you're going to dim your light and never shine as bright as you want to, and it will make you sad because you never be yourself. So the future self is unapologetically amazing. So, or, right, would she realize she simply hasn't found the people who appreciate her? So I realize this too, is that like you really do need people that appreciate who you are around you, or you feel um unappreciated, and it does make you feel like you're too much, especially if people do not hit you up, or they ghost you, or they stop talking to you and stuff, even if you put yourself out there and they just don't ignore you. So you haven't found the right people, and that means that like you do have to get rid of the people that are trying to make you feel small. You do have to talk to them less, because you need to make room for people who will appreciate you and will make sure that you feel like you are enough, because those people are out there. And the verdict is it a fact that you are too much? No, it's not a fact. It's not a bona fide fact. There's so much evidence proving that you are, in fact, not too much. The evidence against. Is it fear? Yes, it is fear, because maybe you don't want to be alone. Maybe you want to be liked. So it's a fear that you are not too much. My fear was like losing good friends who I thought were my good friends out of fear, and that's why I thought I was too much, because I feared people leaving me. So I would probably always self deprecate in front of people and say, oh, I'm too much, but really I was just enough. An old belief. Yes, this is an old belief you probably had since me. I got ghosted by friends constantly, so it was just an old belief of mine, old trauma of mine, that would project into my current, especially if the same pattern happened where someone would ghost me, or stop talking to me, or act weird around me or something, after something I said or did or acted. So it is old beliefs, because you think that the other were facts. But if you have people telling you opposite, that doesn't mean the people that are telling you aren't. So you have to remember your reality is different from other people's reality. So you want to live in the reality where you know you are enough, and the people that think you are too much need to get the hell out of your reality. Assumption, yes. Sometimes you assume, you just gonna assume that people think that you're too much. Like I just assumed. The only person I could honestly say told me I was too much was my ex-boyfriend. He is literally the only person who said what I was asking for was too much for him. And as you can tell, we are no longer together. So it's an assumption most of the time that you're too much, especially if people you don't want to talk to you, maybe you laugh too loud and people don't want to get to know you. That's fine if they don't, because the right people will. The next step for you, stop apologizing for taking up space. I used to constantly apologize, and sometimes I apologize still to now. But I've been more self aware about it, and I was like, why am I apologizing for wanting something? Why am I apologizing for being me? I need to stop apologizing for taking up space this week. So stop apologizing for being loud, for sneezing, for whatever that's even normal. Stop apologizing. So that was our royal court session, and just to let you know, a negative belief. If you have any that you want me to put on trial, you let me know in the comments, and you have a royally confident day. We also have the Royally Confident Collective, where I have a royal court session in the community, so we can challenge negative beliefs. So there will be there. Your negative belief will be put on trial in the community, and we'll have women there, giving you evidence against your negative belief, and it's just a whole thing, and I love it. So if you're interested in it, please let me know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more love, growth, and confidence.